Hey everybody. So, I want to talk about the New York Islanders here a little bit because they are almost quietly having a tremendous season this year, and they've pulled into a playoff spot now in the Eastern Conference, and they're not far behind Columbus and Pittsburgh in the Metropolitan Division. This is a team that looks very much for real and very much like a playoff team. So, if you look at the Islanders, they've only played 40 games so far this year, so they have a game or two in hand on pretty much everyone else in the league. And they're 23, 13, and 4, good for 50 points. Again, with those games in hand, they're 9-1 and 0 in their last 10 games, and they're riding a 6-game win streak right now. Um, this this team this team is just completely surprising me. I thought they were going to be one of the worst teams in the East when Tavares left. I think a lot of people thought that once Tavares left New York, they were done and it was rebuild time and they were going to the bottom of the league. And that's not what's happened at all. If anything, the Islanders have used Tavares leaving as motivation and to really, boost themselves into becoming this team. They're better this year by far than they were last year with Tavares. So it's been an incredible season so far for the Islanders, and I really like this team a lot. They just knocked Montreal out of a playoff spot and moved into a wild card position, and I think the Islanders are going to make the playoffs. Right now, they're again with a game in hand on Columbus. They're only 1 point behind the Blue Jackets, and they have 2 games in hand on Pittsburgh, and they're only 2 points behind Pittsburgh. So conceivably, they could knock both of those teams down. Not saying they will or they won't. There's still half a season left, but they're right there with those teams, and they don't look like they're going away anytime soon. This team looks totally different without John Tavares. They look totally different under Barry Trotz. I think that has made a huge difference for this team. Their overall team defense has improved tenfold. As last year they scored a ton of goals, but they gave up even more. This year they have a plus goal differential of plus 14, which is absolutely huge for the Islanders. The last few years they've always been a team who would give up an absolute ton of goals and just try and outscore their opponents if they were going to win games. They're playing real defense this year, and it shows in their goal differential and it shows in their record to this point in the season. So Trotz has made a huge, huge, huge difference for that team. And also, there's so much talent still there. Everyone was so fixated on John Tavares, and he was the captain of the team. He was the best player on the team, and everyone was like, "All right, this whole franchise comes down to John Tavares." But that hasn't been the case at all. He's left. He's gone to Toronto. He's having a great year in Toronto. But the Islanders still have Anders Lee, still have Brock Nelson, still have Josh Bailey, Jordan Eberle, Matt Barzal, Anthony Beauvillier. This team is still loaded with talent, even without Tavares. And people, I think, really, myself included, overlooked that a lot. They have a good mix of veteran talent and new young talent as well. Eberle's been around the block. Josh Bailey's been around for a long time now. Anders Lee's not a kid anymore. But then you also have Matt Barzal, Anthony Beauvillier, kids like that who are just youngsters in the NHL, but highly, highly talented young players. So this is a well-built team. This is a team that has a good amount of offense. They're playing much better team defense. They don't have that number one elite defenseman, which I think, limits them as far as how deep into the playoffs they can go. But they have Johnny Boychuk and Nick Leddy as veteran guys on the back end. They've got young players playing well, guys like Scott Mayfield and Ryan Pulock and others. It's a good mix. When you look at that Islanders team, it's a good mix. And their goaltending too is much, much better. Goaltending has been a huge issue for the Islanders in the past, and it was last year. Their goaltending last year was absolutely horrendous. But between Thomas Greiss and Robin Lehner this year, they're getting pretty good goaltending, and I think some of that definitely goes back to the improved team defense. You know, if you're not giving up A-plus scoring chances all the time, your goalie's probably not going to get lit up for 5 or 6 goals as often. You know, if you play better defense, your goalie's going to have a better chance of making the save, and we've seen that this year with the Islanders. So overall, I have been very, very impressed with what I've seen from the New York Islanders this year. They're on a real hot streak right now, but they're playing good hockey, and they're a good team. They've got some real good players throughout the lineup, especially up front. They have some great, great players up front, even with John Tavares gone. And they're just playing better overall hockey, better team defense, better goaltending. Barry Trotz, I think, has made a big difference. This is a team that I look at, and I think they can easily make the playoffs this year and probably will. I don't know if they'll sneak into a top 3 spot in the Metro, or if they'll continue to be a wild card team. But I see no reason why this team can't make the playoffs. They've got games in hand. They're already a playoff team. They're on a hot streak right now, 9-1 in their last 10. This is a team that everyone should be aware of and be looking out for, because they are not an easy win, and they're not the team that we thought they were going to be once John Tavares left. We thought they were going to be done, tanked, over, bottom of the standings, down there near the bottom of the Metro, and that hasn't been the case at all. This is a team that looks like they should make the playoffs. So, impressive year for the Islanders so far. Great, great, great first half. 23-13-4. We'll see what they do in the second half, but I think this is a team that has a chance to really make a mark this year, and certainly at least get to the playoffs. We'll see what they do once they get there, but they should at least get to the playoffs. So, with that, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media, check out offthewallhockey.com. All those links are down in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon and merchandise store are in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.